Hello folks, welcome to Legacy IS Academy. In this video, we will be looking into a current affair topic presented to you by a faculty, Sushma KP. So what is the topic we will be looking into today? Fossilization of agriculture and Iran crisis. Now, if you're someone who likes to know about local news, national news, international news, then subscribe to Legacy IS Academy channel as we provide deep insights into each of these topics. Now, let's get back to the video. See, first and foremost, as usual, I will break it down like a small brief story to you. If we take India's growth from your 1947 to 2026, we have definitely come a very long way. Now, when I say we have definitely come a very long way, there has been a lot of significant amount of changes which had to be made in our version of lifestyle. What is this changes? For example, let's say when India got independence, there were about on the whole 5,000 tractors. Today, if you see, the tractor sales alone are crossing 1.16 million. So what does these things indicate is that we are moving towards mechanizations. What was once a niche is now a necessity. Now when your USA and its ally Israel hit Iran in a preemptive strike, this was no longer about just a war or between these three countries of USA, Israel and Iran. Today, the world is much more connected than ever it was. We are in a globalized era. In this globalized era, any issue anywhere creates ripple effects. But any issue in your Middle East, understanding Persian Gulf region, creates catastrophic scenarios. What are those catastrophic scenarios? Just couple days back only you would have heard that because of Strait of Hormuz being blocked, our oil was not allowed to be coming in, because of which we had a lot of LPG crisis in India. Yes. Now, this is no longer just about energy. This is about survival. Now, it might seem like ominous, so I'm telling it is not energy, it is survival, but it is the naked truth lying behind it. What is the naked truth lying behind it? See, for example, today we have adopted to the concept, especially 1960s onwards, when green revolution was introduced, we started using your fertilizers, high yield variety seeds, NPK fertilizer dependence was higher, mechanization became higher. Understanding by 1990, your farm laborers, bullock carts were all replaced by machines. Today, everything from sowing to presenting the grain to you is all mechanized. Understanding, in this period of time, if we have to produce our food, we need good amount of fertilizers, and those fertilizers, 1/3 of your fertilizer supply comes from your Strait of Hormuz. Now when that is getting blocked, our fertilizers are getting affected, our agriculture is getting affected, our food production is getting affected. So this is what your Iran war poses for India. Understanding, it is no longer just a war between three countries or something that your Middle East has to be concerned about or your Persian Gulf has to be concerned about. It is something that the entire world has to be concerned about. So much so that because of these crises, our usual suppliers or your high suppliers like your Russia, China, they have also put a restriction on their exports. Why? First is your national priority. First, I will keep stocks for me, then if anything is there, then I will export. So that means India, which is now excessively made to depend on agriculture, in a way which changed after your green revolution, usage of high yield variety fertilizers, more of petrochemicals, fertilizers, okay, somewhere your fossil based, has now because of this war again come into a chokehold of how much of our dependence is there on these products. Understanding? So, what is fossilization? If you see, from a biological energy, the shift is to an absolute dependence on fossil fuel based inputs. Now, what are these fossil fuel based inputs or the three pillars of the dependency that we are having means? First one is your liquid fuel. The liquid fuel which is needed for your tractors, for your combine harvesters, etc., are all diesel run. So we need fuel. Natural gas, which is extremely important for producing urea, nitrogen based fertilizers in order to maintain the high yield varieties. Next is petrochemicals for all your pesticides, herbicides, again to protect the high yield variety seeds from your pest attacks. All these three are creating a dependence on the imports. All these three are what your Indian agriculture is now made to use. Understanding that is post from your 1960s, it was very eminent from 1990s, now it has become inevitable. So when did the paradigm shift happen? Let's see how it was before 1960s and after 1960s. Before 1960, we were a lot of more on dependent on biological energy. It was more dependent on bullocks. Yes, for both your let's say with respect to sowing of seeds, to manure, urea, that is their urine, everything used to be used from that particular source. From your manual labor, plowing, farmyard manure, all of this was dependent on local self-reliance. Okay, we didn't have to depend very much on external input. That changed with the introduction of your green revolution post 1960s, where it was largely your mechanical energy, chemical fertilizers, your NPK, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, okay, high yield variety seeds, which moved us towards your input is completely dependent on certain factors. Now, if you see how the mechanization surges happened, like I told you, 1947 India had 5,000 tractors. Today, just 2025 26, there is 1.16 million tractor sales. If you see how de-bullockization of farms has happened, that you can get to know just with the animals which we are using. Okay, we use male, that is your bullocks, and male buffaloes were used. 1972 census pointed out 80.8 million animals which was used for your farm. Your 2019 showcases only 34.8 million animals. Understanding this reduced in the drought animals is because of our move towards your mechanization. Understanding, and also the explosive growth of fertilizer use from your 600 almost 69,000 tons. That was what it was initially. Now in 2025 it has reached 32.9 million tons. This is the amount, almost 470 times of increase in your fertilizer use. You see what are the components that we are using. Earlier we used to use your farmyard manures from your livestock waste, cow dung, manure, urine, etc. Now we are using largely your urea, DAP, phosphorus, nitrogen, potassium, and especially your natural rock phosphate, where we don't have much of those resources at all. Mineral salts such as potash. Understanding? So all these are creating a dependency for the inputs of our agriculture. Now, if you see with respect to your Strait of Hormuz, it is a global choke point. Understanding now the war, US, Israel, Iran, which they are engaged in, is no longer just about your three factors or countries that we spoke about. So much so that roughly one third of global fertilizer trade happens through this particular hub from your Middle East, which is affecting your input costs. Also, because of the high threat in this region, it increases your shipping, freight, insurance, all of these prices, vis-a-vis bearing the burden and putting the burden on the agriculture sector. If you see, the supply chains are also facing huge amount of shocks, especially with respect to direct impact on India's food security. We have to be able to produce food is how we will be having, for example, a Food Security Act of 2013. If we have to have food or grains, We need things or inputs to produce those grains. Example of fertilizers. Russia and China are now becoming more cautious in restricting their exports of these fertilizers, understanding especially its domestic urea plants. So if you see structurally, we are having import vulnerabilities with respect to natural gas, potash, phosphorus wars. All this is making it difficult for India amidst this war. With this, we've come to the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it along with your friends. Thank you.